Shauna. She's reckless, she lies badly, she makes everything worse, and somehow still acts like she's the victim. I used to roll my eyes every time she spiraled. I thought, here we go again. But then came season 3, episode 8, and that scene where Melissa tells her,
"This is what you do, Shauna. You create your own problems. You stir the pot just to feel alive."
That line really stuck with me, not because it made me pity Shauna, but because it made something click. She's someone who needs the chaos, who's more comfortable in destruction than in stability. And honestly, that doesn't make her less interesting, it makes her more. So today, I want to unpack who Shauna really is, not through a lens of hate or defense, but through what the show actually gives us. But before we dive in, and of course this is if you want to do it, and if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you're into theories, breakdowns, deep dives, and overthinking TV shows, I would greatly appreciate your support. If you could like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, that would mean a lot. I mean, you guys know the spiel, but I would greatly appreciate it because it does help the channel grow. Now, with that being said, the real tragedy of Shauna Shipman isn't that the crash changed her. It's that the world she came back to was too small for who she already was. So without further ado, let's get into it.
You're so mad and yet so wrong.
Before the plane crash, Shauna Shipman had a normal life on paper. Straight A student, early acceptance to Brown, rule follower, and even quiet. But the truth is, she was already full of contradictions. She hated soccer, but played anyway. She didn't want to go to Rutgers, but she let Jackie make the decision for her.
Oh, that reminds me. I decided on a color palette for our room at Rutgers next year. Pink and green. It's like classic preppy meets Palm Beach. It's very Lily.
She resented how invisible she felt, especially next to Jackie, but she never said it aloud. Jackie, on the other side, was everything Shauna wasn't: popular, magnetic, confident. She was the team captain and the kind of person people just naturally orbit. And for most of their lives, Shauna was happy to be in that orbit until she wasn't. Right before the crash, cracks were already forming. Shauna didn't tell Jackie she got into Brown. She didn't tell Jackie she didn't want to live together in college. And most significantly, she didn't tell Jackie she was sleeping with her boyfriend Jeff. However, that betrayal didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't just about Jeff. It was about control. It was about resentment and about Shauna trying to carve out a life that felt like her own, even if it meant destroying someone else's. And when Jackie told Shauna she was finally ready to sleep with Jeff because it would connect them forever, Shauna didn't stop her and kind of even scolded her for it.
I saw Jeff. What happened to no distractions before nationals? Ripping off the Band-Aid and all that?
And that same night, Shauna slept with Jeff again, this time telling him,
"If you come inside me, I will raise the baby out of spite and train it to become a killing machine that eventually hunts you down. Got it?"
Now that's not just petty, that's unprocessed rage. It's also a sign of a bigger pattern we'll keep seeing with Shauna. She lets things fester. She doesn't speak up, she doesn't ask for what she wants, and then she explodes.
Shauna, just wear the red dress I gave you, the boob dress.
Maybe I don't want to wear the red dress. And I sure as hell don't want to hook up with Randy fucking Walsh.
Jesus.
Often in ways that are messy, cruel, or self-sabotaging. She doesn't express her anger clearly, she hides it behind silence, sarcasm, or later violence. And even before the crash, she was already telling herself a story about being a victim, a sidekick, a forgotten girl. That self-narrative doesn't go away, it just gets darker. From the moment the plane crashes, Shauna starts making choices that pull her further away from the girl she was before, and she never looks back. She isn't the most capable, or the loudest, or even the most shaken, but she adapts fast. She gets out of the wreckage with Jackie, tries and fails to save Van, and keeps going. When the girls argue over whether to stay at the crash site or follow Ty to the lake, Shauna votes against Jackie, and Shauna doesn't try to smooth it over. Shauna doesn't apologize. She says,
"I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, okay? I have no idea what's right or wrong out here. I was just following my gut so that we wouldn't die of thirst."
And that's Shauna's new rule: emotion first, deal with the consequences later. In the wilderness, Shauna keeps lying to Jackie. She's pregnant with Jeff's baby and tells no one. And while it is understandable that this is a teen pregnancy, they're in the wilderness, she is scared, yes, 100%, but she still lies to Jackie about it. When Jackie jokes that it's a good thing Shauna's a virgin, Shauna plays along. She fakes her period with deer blood, and when Jackie gets suspicious and confronts Shauna,
Hey, everyone's heading down to the lake. I'm just gonna go change.
Nope. You are finally gonna tell me what the hell is going on.
what does Shauna do? Lie again, and says,
How did this happen?
Well, when a man and a woman...
No, I mean, you lost your virginity without telling me. With who?
Randy.
Eventually, Jackie puts it together. She finds Shauna's diary, then comes the fight, and Shauna finally explodes. She calls Jackie selfish, controlling, a movie star surrounded by extras. Jackie, however, hits back.
Oh, is the sad little psychic mad? Did I force you to live in my shadow, Shauna?
And she's right. That's what Shauna can't handle. The fact that she's been hiding behind the victim role to justify everything she does. Jackie sleeps outside that night, Shauna watches her from the window, and decides not to go to Jackie. In the morning, Jackie is frozen to death. Shauna doesn't grieve like the others. She keeps Jackie's body in the meat shed, has conversations with her, braids her hair. Then, she eats her. First the ear in secret, then the rest with the group.
She wants us to.
But it started with Shauna. Now that moment, I believe, unlocks something in Shauna. She becomes the butcher in that moment. When Javi dies, she's the one who cuts him up. She feeds the group, she handles the gore, but she still avoids the actual kill. She didn't stab Javi, she didn't kill Ben, she didn't slit Travis's throat when she had the chance. She wants the power, but not the accountability. That's always been the pattern. After the stillbirth, Shauna unravels. She punches Misty, bites Van, beats Lottie into a blood pulp. She says the group ate her baby, they didn't, but it doesn't matter because she wants someone to hurt as much as she is hurting. So when the wilderness chooses Natalie to be the new leader, it cuts Shauna deeply. Not just because it's Nat, but because Nat still has something Shauna doesn't. The ability to care about others, to feel, to lead with her head instead of her pain. And that's exactly what Shauna can't stand. Then happens the fire, the shelter is gone, and they move into the forest. And when they find Coach Ben, Shauna is the one who pushes for a trial. She claims it's about justice, but it's not. She's angry. She needs to put that anger somewhere.
We're here. He's back. Now we have to make him pay for trying to kill us.
She stands up and declares that he tried to kill them and insists everybody to vote. When the verdict doesn't go her way, she pressures the others. Yells, demands, and ultimately forces the outcome she already wanted.
That's fucking power.
But they don't kill Ben. In the end, they decide he should live because of one of the visions and he might be the way out of the forest. They pen him up like livestock, stripping him of humanity. Still, that's not enough for Shauna. She tells Melissa to slice his Achilles tendon so he can't run, and makes her do it, not because it's necessary, but because Shauna wants to see him suffer. Shauna is always the one holding the knife, which is also kind of funny because Coach Ben gave her the knife, but she wants someone else to finish it. That way, she gets to keep playing the victim, the helper, the one who just did what had to be done. But make no mistake, none of this is forced. Shauna wants it. She wanted to eat Jackie. She wanted to butcher Javi. She wants Ben to suffer. She has always been this way.
The rest of us, we're going.
No. You're not.
The wilderness didn't create the butcher, it just gave her a knife and stopped anyone from taking it away. Flash forward 25 years and we are in the present, and Shauna still didn't leave the wilderness behind. She just learned how to bury it under routine. On the surface, she's a wife and a mother living in the suburbs with Jeff and her daughter Callie. But even here, the pattern holds. She doesn't speak her truth, lets resentment simmer, and then acts out destructively, all while framing herself as the victim. She cheats on Jeff with Adam, not out of love, but because she wants to feel something. She's bored, angry, and looking for a spark. And we can say here, and I will kind of give this to Shauna, that she thought Jeff was cheating on her. But you know what you do in those situations? You sit down with your partner and you ask the question. As much as it hurts, you gotta rip that band-aid off. But what does she do? She cheats with Adam. So technically not giving it to her, but just proving the pattern. She lies to everyone around her. Jeff, Callie, herself. When Callie finds out, Shauna flips it on her.
Have you ever heard of mutually assured destruction?
The same dynamic from the woods, now in her kitchen.
You know, you never even asked me if I wanted to go to Rutgers. You just assumed I'd go wherever you wanted. You tell me what to wear, what to do, who to hook up with. I don't even like soccer.
Then comes the blackmail. She assumes it's Adam, doesn't confirm, doesn't ask, she just kills him. And when she finds out she was wrong and it wasn't Adam, it was Jeff who was blackmailing them, she doesn't feel guilt. She just rewrites the narrative.
He attacked me, and I had no choice.
She tells Callie the truth, but only after she's caught.
I killed Adam.
You killed a person, like an innocent person who did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
That's not remorse, that's relief. Violence calms her, gives her focus. She doesn't regret killing Adam, she regrets being found out. When the cops close in, she escalates. She sends Randy into a motel with her condom.
I'm flattered, but I really love Tammy, and she just took me back,
Sure,
so
Randy, that is not for us. Just jerk off into it and throw it in the trash.
Faces interrogation, and when she tracks down her stolen minivan, she confronts the chop shop guy with a gun and says,
My hand wasn't shaking because I was afraid. It was shaking because of how badly I wanted to do this.
What? That's it. No mask, nothing. That's her. That is Shauna. She goes to Lottie's compound and gets assigned a baby goat as therapy. She assumes she'll have to kill it because that's how she sees the world. Everything ends in blood. She breaks down and admits that she keeps Callie at a distance because she's afraid to lose her.
Out of fear that she would die, I guess. Or maybe that she was never even real to begin with.
But even in that moment of honesty, she centers herself, her pain, her fear. That's always been her pattern.
Well, I'm glad you have so much sympathy for her. This isn't a competition, Shauna. I know.
The emotional context outweighs the actual one. Adam's body is found, she admits everything to the other Yellowjackets.
Was your fucking husband the one blackmailing us?
But when Lottie, being Lottie,
we give it what it always wants. One of us.
offers poison tea, Shauna stops her, not out of compassion, but control. She says,
If we really want to give it what it's asking for, we have to do it the way we used to. We should give it a hunt.
The ritual, the game she knows. Shauna draws the Queen of Hearts, but when it's time to die, she hesitates.
Okay, so you've all actually lost your minds.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
She walks, then runs until Callie shows up with a gun. Shauna didn't expect the rescue, but she takes it. She always takes the out. And when Melissa resurfaces, calling her out for never changing,
you stew and you seethe, and you make it everyone else's problem because you hate to be alone. You hate yourself, and you want everyone else to feel just as miserable as you are.
Shauna doesn't argue. She just attacks. Shauna bites her, then threatens Melissa and forces her to eat a piece of her own skin, or she'll tell Melissa's family who she really is. Just like in the wilderness, Shauna wants to hurt. She wants to survive, but most of all, she wants to believe she had no choice, even when she's the one holding the knife.
Shauna acted like a lunatic and killed this Adam, made you guys clean it up, so she put you at risk, and let me guess, she was wrong then too?
So where does that leave us? Personally, I feel less hate for Shauna and a lot more fascination. I just can't look away from her character because I want to see where this ultimately goes. But what about you? What do you think is next for Shauna? Is she headed toward redemption, ruin, or something we haven't seen coming? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how everyone else is reading her. And now, speaking of characters I still can't figure out, next we will dive into Misty's character. Is she loyal, unhinged, completely terrifying? Probably all three. So if you want to get into that mess with me, please be sure to subscribe. I want to thank everyone who took the time of day to watch or listen to this video. And now remember, the important thing is to always keep questioning. Even me. Till next time.